President and Venal Houseplant Joe Biden delivered his State of the Union address this week, a 45-minute speech that lasted between 7 and 8 hours, depending on how closely you were paying attention. For those of you who missed the address because you had something better to do, like picking your nose or wondering how many C's there are in raccoon for no discernible reason, the Daily Wire has compiled a transcript of the address condensed into a single lifetime, followed by simple bullet point takeaways to help you pretend you were listening. President Biden said, quote, "My fellow Merconians, we gather today while the brave Uranians from Urania, where all that important uranium comes from, are under attack by those other people, the ones with the furry hats who sold Hillary all the baloney about Russian collusion with Trump, so the great patriots of our news media could spread the lies throughout the land, causing division and paralysis in the U.S., while the Russians were building up their military so they could invade Urania. My heart goes out to the heroic Uranian leader who reminds me of myself because he's a comedian who became a president, and I'm a president who became a joke. But we can't just stand by while he and other courageous Uranians from the planet Uranus, a planet that always makes me laugh a little when I say it out loud, we cannot just stand by and watch them risk their lives to defend their country. We must stand by while saying things, and those things must sound very stern indeed if we are to get through this speech without anyone remembering that we're still funding Russia's war machine by buying oil from them, which we could be producing ourselves. So let me sternly say this. We will sanction Russia by blocking all their financial transactions except the ones that fund their war machine by buying oil from which we could be producing ourselves. We will also ban government workers above the level of G11 from having dinner at the Russian tea room, unless it's a special occasion, like a birthday or a girls' night out. We will no longer watch movies about Russia, though I am exempting From Russia with Love, because that's a great one, and Red Sparrow, because of the Jennifer Lawrence nude scene. We will also no longer use the word Russian, but will simply say I am walking very fast. And of course, we will not wear furry hats unless the temperature drops below 40 degrees or so. Now that I've done nothing about that, let me turn to some other things I'll do nothing about. Crime, that's a big one. We must fund the police. People think we wanted to defund the police, but we really meant to say fund de-police and just got the words backwards. However, just because we're now going to pretend we said something different than we actually said, that doesn't mean the police can go around arresting people simply because they happen to be black and robbing a liquor store. Also, we must remember George Floyd, so the next time a drug addict holds a gun to a pregnant woman's belly while his friends ransack her house, we can build statues to him too. That will help the police a lot. Furthermore, we must say that we're going to secure our borders. That's something people really like to hear. But just because we secure our borders doesn't mean we won't let every fentanyl-dealing, COVID-riddled terrorist enter our country illegally so we can then secretly fly them to the middle of the country where all the people who voted for Trump are, because Trump was very bad. And I'm proud to say I have reversed many of his policies, like his producing energy so we didn't have to fund the Russian war machine, and his preventing the Iranians from getting nuclear weapons so they couldn't invade other countries like all the rest of our enemies, which was just unfair. And negotiating peace in the Middle East, which Trump only did to make himself look like a great president by doing great things while he was president. So by golly, I put an end to it. In conclusion, let me say this. The steak and the onions are strong. I mean the stand on my bunions. I mean the state of confusion. I mean the State of the Union. That's it. The State of the Union is strong. It must be, otherwise the Union couldn't have survived what I've done to it. Unquote. President Biden ended the speech by shouting, "Go get him," so that Nancy Pelosi led Democrats into the street where they chased after a random homeless man because they weren't sure why the president shouted that, but didn't want him to look like a blithering idiot who just shouts things for no reason. Our three takeaways from the speech were: 1, holy crap. 2, oh no. And 3, mushu pork. That's really more of a takeout than a takeaway, but I feel like Chinese because at least they know how to run a country. I just wish it wasn't ours. If you enjoy great content instead of bad content, you want to like and subscribe, and also subscribe to The Andrew Klavan Show wherever you get your podcasts.